especially when we're in this online environment. I know it's like my New Year's resolution every single year to have good time management skills going into the fall semester, and it always doesn't work. So we're gonna change that narrative. We're gonna be time management experts. And so our objectives for this presentation is, again, understand the importance of time management, learn time management strategies in an online environment, and practice time management strategies. We might not do too much practicing, but we want to make sure that all of you learn the important skills and techniques that can help you out. So on the next slide. Just a couple of introductions. So I'll go ahead and start. My name is Mahitha, and I'm the retention specialist for the Promise Scholars program here on campus. The Promise program is a program that gives 2 to 3 years of financial services, academic support, textbook support, and is a program to help you either earn a certificate, degree, or transfer.
Hi everyone, welcome. My name is Ariela Villalpando, and I am the Program Services Coordinator for the Promise Scholars Program. If there's any Promise students on the call, you can finally put a name to the face, a face to the name. So welcome everyone, and yeah, we're excited to present to all of you.
We also have one of our student ambassadors, Adrian Afif. He is also your student body president. He's on the call as well, and one of our current Promise students as well. So I'm just really excited for everyone to join.
So let's get started with something fun. So as an icebreaker, we want to know, what's the summer binge show that you've been kind of obsessed for the summer? I could go first. For me, and I've been a fan for the longest, would probably be 90 Day Fiance. I don't know if anyone relates. And yeah, that's mine. That's my guilty pleasure. Mijita, what's yours?
Watched like everything under the sun, but the most recent show that I binged was Unsolved Mysteries, and now I can't walk alone at night even more. So I'm always freaked out all the time. So I don't suggest watching it at night, but it's such a good show. But that has been my summer binge. And we want to open it up to all of you, so you can either unmute yourself or go ahead and write it in the chat. We just want to know. I want to know more summer binge recommendations too. So if we could maybe introduce your name and the show that you've been watching. And if you don't watch a show and you do something else that you've been binging all summer, let us know too. Nancy, I know you're taking attendance. I'm sorry.
I've been watching Zac Efron Down to Earth on Netflix.
Oh, I haven't seen that. Okay, that
was really cool because it's just like, it just blows your mind away of how the world is working, and the different countries, how they restore energy and how they're sustainable, and what kind of food they eat, and how the US is not doing so good as other countries. So it's really eye-opening.
That's very cool. That reminds me of Padma Lakshmi has a show on Hulu called Taste the Nation, which is also really, really cool. It's also about how different cultures and their food relate to each other. But I'll definitely check that out. Thank you so much.
I heard good things about it, so I think I might start watching soon.
It's so
I need
good.
a new show.
What was it called again?
Down to Earth.
Down to Earth. Okay, cool.
Zac Efron's in it. So
awesome. Well, another reason to watch it. Thank you. Awesome. Anyone else?
Do you want to read the chat, Mijita? Because I'm.
Oh yeah, sorry, I'm missing the chat. Don't have anyone on the chat just yet, but remember, you can use the chat to respond. Give maybe one more response if anyone has it.
Hi, my name's Paloma. I'm one of the peer leaders for Colts-CON, so if you guys have any questions, you can ask me. But something that I've been binging is Umbrella Academy on Netflix. It's a little weird and a little confusing in the beginning, but I find that to be nice due to all this chaos. So something else that's more chaotic than my life, I get to watch. So I enjoy Umbrella Academy.
Very cool. What's it about, Paloma?
It's about these 7 siblings that were all born on the same day by random women who are never pregnant, and they have superpowers.
That is so cool. Okay, that's another show I'm gonna check out. We have someone on the chat. What We Do in the Shadows on Hulu. Super funny about vampires in Rhode Island. Enough said. Yes, I'm ready. Someone else said I've been mainly watching Korean drama during the summer's binge TV shows. My friend just showed me one episode of a Korean drama on Netflix yesterday. I already forgot what it was called, but it's amazing. So I will find out. Adrian said, I second Umbrella Academy. Great show. Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for adding to my list. Okay, let's get started on time management now that we know all the distractions for time management.
Okay, so let's get started with some mythbusters, okay, about time management here, okay? So let's see here. The first one. What has been, oh wait, we're not there yet. This is the beginning of the questions. What has been your biggest challenge with time management with online classes? So we're assuming you have some slight experience from the last trail of your spring semester in your classes. We accept responses. This should be via chat. So I would like to see what has been your biggest challenge so far with your time management, about what has been your struggle. We'll give it a couple seconds for everyone to share.
And this could be, the space in your home. If you're having difficulty having access to either Wi-Fi or a laptop, or it's hard to learn online, we just want to have a feel for what has been one of your challenges or one of your biggest challenges with time management. And if everyone could use the chat, there's no wrong answer. If you want to unmute and talk to, that's okay too. But I want to maybe hear a couple answers from people. And if you've had no issues with time management, cool. We want to hear that too. What has been working for you?
I can go. Something that I've been challenging, that's been challenging with time management, is definitely like just everything being online, because when it was in person, like I would just, I guess, be more accountable. Just be more on top of things and like notice, okay, like I have to be here at this time, I have to do this at this time. But since everything's been online, like I forget. Like it just completely blows my mind. Like I don't have to like get up at a certain time. I don't have to be somewhere at a certain time. So like sleeping in is an issue, because like I can just, I'll snooze it. I have 5 more minutes. Like it's fine. So definitely just being online has been hard and has like messed with my whole time management.
Yeah, for sure. It's kind of like spring break vibes, but you're not on spring break. So you have to be accountable for when you wake up, when you do your homework, when you need to go to work, when you need to take care of family. So lots of things going on. Someone in the chat said, since each day is different around family, trying to get around them to get work done. Someone else said staying engaged with online classes is a challenge in terms of focus and motivation. Another student said, for me personally, nothing has been a challenge because I always do my assignments early and then I don't have anything to do that whole week. That is amazing. You are a superwoman. That is so great, to just being able to cross things off of your to-do lists. Speaking of to-do lists, let's thank you all for your answers. I think everyone had really great answers. I think online environment is a challenge, and I think, yeah, one of the biggest things is creating a routine for yourself, and that's when time management comes into play. So
especially online, I think it just adds another layer of like difficulty, whether you procrastinate and you're like, oh, it's fine, like I could do it later, and you just keep putting it off and putting it off. It's so easy to kind of like lose your routine and then fall into that trap of like the ongoing circle of like putting things off. So yeah, I hear you, and it definitely makes it more difficult.
And we have a couple more answers too. Someone said they struggle with not having different options with study or work areas, getting help with homework and study time online. Someone said they do many house chores, so that can be a challenge to keep up with homework. So yeah, even parents or family kind of understanding that you do need time to do work and not understanding the difference of being able to give you that time can sometimes be a challenge. Focusing in all my classes and not having motivation from a teacher or classmate. Yes, these are all real things. You have 18 people on this group right now who can help you be accountable. So yes, it's all about finding that group in your classes. Great, thank you everyone. Awesome, so our first Mythbuster question for everyone is true or false? Multitasking helps you get things done faster. And we have a poll up and ready for you. If you can just vote either true or false, and then I'll share the results at the end, and they'll be completely anonymous. A couple more people. Okay, perfect, awesome. So now we're gonna share the results. All right. So it looks like we have majority for false, some for true. And drum roll, the answer is false. It can be true when we think we're doing multiple things and we think we're getting things done really fast. But in reality, our brain can really only focus on one thing at a time. So definitely, it's much better to put your 100% effort, even if it's for those 5 to 10 minutes on one task. It's kind of like trying to cook and wash dishes at the same time. If you do wash dishes for too long, you might burn what's on the stove, or when you're cooking, you might accidentally leave the water on. There's better attention put when you do one thing fully. So in the words of Ron Swanson, never half-ass two things, whole-ass one thing. I don't know if anyone has experienced this, but definitely when I was in high school and undergrad, I definitely had the idea that if I do multiple things at once, I can get things done. But it's kind of like driving and texting too. You can really only do one thing at a time, safely, productively. So that's what we recommend is when you're doing something, put your 100% effort. Multitasking seems like it works, but it's really hard to do. All right, our second Mythbuster.
Yes, to-do lists are productive. True or false? If we could launch the next poll for this, please. And we'll give it a couple seconds. That was a quicker one. Oh, it's still going. Okay. So the majority said true. Awesome. And that one's pretty easy, right? To-do lists are productive. Let's see. True. I want to know in the chat who here does their own like to-do list, whether it's like on a piece of paper or on your phone maybe. I want to hear from you all if this is something that you practice. And if you could read the responses, Nikita, if there's any responses yet.
Yes.
I can start by saying that I use a to-do list and I love Trello and I highly recommend it. You can download it on your phone, computer, you can get collaborators, and it's really easy to use.
Yeah, thank you, Adrian. There's definitely all kinds of apps that could be part of like your toolkit, right? To stay organized, to stay motivated. And I heard good things about that app, Adrian, so thanks for bringing that up. I'm more old school, kind of like my agenda or planner, or like those little whiteboards, like my calendar whiteboards. I tend to use those too, but it's really what works best for you.
Yeah, and we have a couple answers in the chat. Someone says they do a to-do list on both paper and on your phone notes app. Someone said they usually do it in their head with the top 3, which is great, just kind of having your goals for the day. Someone says Google Keep, which is really cool too, or a planner to keep track of everyday tasks. Again, the Notes app is cool. I use a planner to write everything I'm going to do in the day or in the whole week. A notebook or planner. Yay, all of you are ready for college. Notebook, planner, all of that is really great. Anything to really not just write down what you have to do, but even giving yourself dates and deadlines, right? Like I have like all my scratch list of to-do lists like right here that I just keep collecting papers and papers right next to me as I do things, giving myself due dates, always pushing it to the next day because I don't get it done the day that I wanted to do it. So yeah, these are all really, really great answers. Thank you. All right, so the next Mythbuster is true or false, you need to be perfect to be successful. One last poll for everyone. No, perfect. Okay, 5 more seconds. Gonna hit 13 out of 13, yay! Awesome, yes, false, a big ol' F for false for this one, yes. Wait, I shared the results, right? Okay, cool, yes. False, definitely being perfect is not ideal, right? No one can be perfect. I think it's more important to understand how you work best, and how you work best can look very different from being in person, being online, going from high school to college, going from either if you were doing concurrent enrollment and now being full-time college. So there's so many things that go along with learning who you are, learning how you grow, and always improving as you learn. I definitely have changed my habits since I've continued with my academic life, my professional life. Each stage of my life, I've grown. I've had a different outlook on life. So for me, what I prioritize also ends up being different. So there's no one perfect cookie cutter way to do things. Even if you don't have a planner, don't have anything figured out right now, especially because you haven't been to college yet, how are you going to know, right? So giving yourself that flexibility and that forgiveness of like, you're learning, you're figuring it out. Give yourself your best effort, but also understand that you're human in the middle of a pandemic, and that things are going to be very different, and you're going to use all the resources that you can. But definitely being perfect is not something that is needed to be successful.
Thank you, Mikita, for sharing that. So yes, basically the big question why everyone's here, what is time management, or like what are different strategies where we could best manage our time? And it's basically the process of organizing and planning how to divide your time between specific activities. And honestly, if I could give my younger self some advice, time management is really the one ingredient that will really change the type of student that you are. And to be successful is just knowing how you work, what type of learner you are, to really get a rhythm going, a routine going, so you could be successful in college. And again, that could look different around different strategies work for different people. So it's kind of finding your go-to strategy, and this will really take you far in higher education, 100%.
Yeah, like someone in the chat said, I do often make to-do lists, but doing it alone does not necessarily keep me on task, and it becomes a hollow promise. And I think that is something to keep in mind, because it's hard to do things on your to-do list if there's no goal of a specific date. It's hard to just write like get A's in your classes this semester. That's a really hard to-do list. Breaking it down to being more intentional of, I will study for my class 1 to 2 hours every day. And that's how I will be intentional and making sure I'm successful in this class. So definitely time management can help you organize those to-do lists into something that's manageable and successful.
And it could also help you see what should be priority, right? Working your list to like highest priority to lowest, and giving yourself some wiggle room and some cushion time to meet your deadlines, in case, you know, life happens and you want to really plan for those things. If something out of the blue kind of comes your way, and you'll be fine because you made the time, right? You have the cushion time to go about those duties or tasks. And the big question, why is time management important?
And maybe if we could get some answers in the chat as well of why time management. No, sneak preview. Of why time management is important, or why you think time management is important. It could be one word of why you think time management is important in the chat. Or you can unmute yourself too. We're just looking for 1 to 2 words that summarizes why you think time management is important. Someone said it keeps you focused on your goals, less stress.
For me, it kind of keeps my expectations at a stay. Like, I have this mentality, I feel like everyone does, is of the go, 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 go. So I feel like when I time everything out, everything's placed, I don't feel so rushed. Everything just kind of like slows down.
Yeah, for sure. Breaking things down so that they're manageable tasks instead of this really overwhelming goal. And time management is important, not just for school. If you have a goal to maybe run a marathon, how do you do that? How do you work that into your goal? If you're running a mile every day, then you work up to 2 miles. Where do you put that time into your schedule to make sure you're working towards that goal? So time management is in every aspect of our life. Thank you, everyone. So yes, like everyone said, helps you be organized. You can use your time wisely, learn more effectively, avoid procrastination and stressful situations to meet your deadlines.
So the next question, another share in the chat. What are some of your time management strategies? So we want to hear from you first. If you would like to unmute yourself to share, please do, or you could write something in the chat. What are some tips that have worked for you or maybe haven't? I would love to hear those out. We'll give it a couple of seconds.
I can go if nobody wants to go yet. A time management trick that I've learned, it's I think Sally Heath came up with, I'm not entirely sure, but it's a weekly, like, kind of fill out your day schedule kind of thing. So it has Monday through Friday, and it has from the time you wake up, so whatever time that is. For me, it's usually about 7, and the time you go to bed. And you plan out everything from, what do you do in the morning? Are you going to eat breakfast? Are you going to shower? Are you going to drive in your car? Are you going to, do you have classes? Do you have work? And you block out certain times so that it reminds you to do the little things like shower, to eat, because people forget about eating, and people forget that maybe I should go on a walk. So it's like it's a week out, like week plan calendar. You just block out the times that like you're busy, but also like trying to get in the little things.
Absolutely. I think you made such good points, Paloma. Even say you're taking the time to drive to work and taking the time to drive back from work, and then you're back from work, you shower, you snack, you want to turn your brain off for a little bit, watch a show. That's a good hour to hour and a half after you get off of work that you might realistically start studying. Maybe you have to do a couple chores before you get to your reading. So giving yourself a realistic time schedule where you're not putting these unrealistic expectations on yourself, but really blocking out time to self-care, blocking out time for work, blocking out time to do certain things at certain times of the day. Some people on the chat said, make a to-do list and list what is urgent and not urgent. Absolutely. I think prioritizing what you need to do is extremely important. So if you have a midterm in 2 weeks, but you have a lab report due in 2 days, prioritizing that lab report first instead of studying for that midterm. Definitely prioritizing your to-dos is a great strategy. Someone said, I try to do everything I have to do in a specific hour and what it's important to do first and what to do later. Again, great, prioritizing is important. Someone said, as a student, I used to add my class times on Google Calendar using my student account and set reminders. Yes, I love that. I also use my Google Calendar because it can give you notifications on your phone. What I used to do when I first went to school, I didn't know where any of my buildings were, what time they were. So I would set reminders to go to this building at this time. I would set reminders a day before when I got my syllabus. I would set reminders for when certain things are due. It really helps to use, especially with all the technology we have, something like Google Calendar to give you those notifications. If you need that accountability buddy and you don't really know anyone just yet, your phone is your best friend in some ways. Let it do its work and let it do its job by reminding you. Another person said, as soon as I wake up, plan out what needs to be done and then plan out for the rest of the day. That's awesome. And I know right now in a pandemic, we're all at home. It's sometimes really, really hard to know how to plan the day, but chunking out the time, like Paloma said, is a great strategy. So yeah, kind of what we talked about. Set regular study periods, create a distraction-free environment, and that is extremely hard to do, I know, for some folks where you don't have that study space. And either that's just putting in headphones and having music so that you are blocked in your own own little time for at least those 10 minutes to get something done. Estimate the time needed for each assignment. So, you know, if you have 100 pages to read, maybe you're not going to do it in 30 minutes, and giving yourself realistic time where you say, let me time how many pages I can read in 30 minutes, and let that be the realistic marker for every time I need to read. So I can say, if I have 30 minutes, I can get 20 pages done. And like everyone said, prioritize. The question, how can we reconcile time management and productivity with emotional needs if we feel anxiety and stress? I love that question, and we'll be going over some tips about that as well soon. Has anyone heard of the Pomodoro technique? I learned about it in grad school. It worked really well. Someone said, yes, I do it, yay! It's can be called different things. One of the basic summary of what the Pomodoro technique is, I think Pomodoro means tomato. That's why, oh yeah, it says it right there. Named after the Italian word for tomato, since the timer used by the technique's creator was shaped as a tomato. So essentially what it is, it's giving yourself blocks of time. So whether that's 15, 20, 25, I used to do it with how long I can go without looking at my phone. So that's 15 minutes. You can, someone asked if we can go back to the previous slide for just a second. I'll get there in like 1 second. Let me finish the slide and we'll go back for a second. So that's 10, 15, 20 minutes. You study for that chunk of period, and then you take a break. So if that's getting up, moving around, you got to take out the trash, you have to do something in between, just taking a break that's not studying or not on your phone, and then you get back to work. And that technique just helps you be productive in little short bursts, so that you're not running the marathon, but you're doing like a light jog.
And if someone wants to take like a screenshot of this screen, please do. Maybe you could use it as a reference if this is a technique that you'd like to practice.
Someone said I use the app Forest to track when I want to use the Pomodoro method. I love that. Anna, can you describe what the Forest app is? Oh, and we're gonna have a recording. So whoever needs a refresher on what we talked about, you can always go back in, share the slides, and share the video. Great. So let's move forward.
Should I go back to the last slide real quick or keep going?
Sure, for a second.
Here's the last slide for a quick reference. And like Mahita mentioned, this is recorded, so you will have this as a tool or a resource if you need a reminder.
Okay, with the Forest app, you can set a timer for 30, 40 minutes, and the app will let you plant a tree for that time period. If you go away from the app, the tree will die, and so will your session. Wow, so the longer you're away from your phone, the more your tree grows.
Kind of cool.
I suck at taking care of plants, so this might be the way I can do it.
Okay, and back to the question, right, that we had on our chat. What do you do when you need to take a break? So how do you kind of charge your own battery, especially since we're sheltering in place, and I know we could get a little stir crazy in our own homes. We'd like to bring it up to the group, and we'd like for you to share what's your form of taking a break. And there's no right or wrong answer here. And I could go give an example. I like to go on hikes and be outdoors. And so when I find time after my work hours, I like to go to this, it's called the Shoreline. I live in Hayward, and it's super close to my home, and I take a walk with my AirPods, and just I like to be by myself and just listen to music and have a nice quick walk to kind of de-stress, take a break away from the computer. So that's my form of a break.
Yeah, I could share too. Yeah, similarly, I think quarantine is bringing out the workout in me that I never knew existed. So I've been working out a lot more. And it's just a way for me to, it started with a way for me to be active and enjoy like the nature around me and walk around. It allows me to listen to podcasts. I'm obsessed with The Office, the TV show. So there's a podcast called The Office Ladies where the two characters in The Office talk about the inside scoop of everything that happened on the show. So like it's 45 minutes long. I take a 45-minute walk and I get to learn more about the show I'm obsessed with. And it's a really great like few minutes just to myself. And not everyone will have 45 minutes, and that's okay. So just little things that help you recharge your battery. Someone said they listen to music and relax. I love that. Another student said I go running for an hour and biking for an hour while listening to music. Someone said I go to the kitchen, find something to eat, watch some YouTube, get outside for a bit, interact with my family. Yes, I love that. Yeah, I've also become a chef, so all the cooking.
I became a baker. Cookies, banana bread. I'm that person. I made banana bread.
Yes, we're just gonna create a Cañada kitchen.
We should.
Cañada restaurant.
Let's do it.
The end of this.
The barbecue and start grilling.
Barbecues. Ooh, see, we got the barbecue, we got the bakery. Love it. Anyone else? Or are there, what's the challenge maybe of trying to self-care? I know sometimes I feel, this has been really difficult for me because sometimes I feel really guilty for taking a break because I feel like I have to be doing something. I feel like there's dishes in the sink, or I feel like I'm not working or checking my email. Like I'm always feeling like there's something that I need to be doing, and taking those 5 minutes for myself sometimes feel like I'm procrastinating on something. But just like your phone, if you have all the apps on at once, if you are using it a lot, your battery will start to die and you need to recharge it, even if it's for those 5 minutes. So really taking that time to let your brain take a break, breathe, and relax. Someone says, I take photographs of my pets to relax. Yes, I will take photographs of your pet to relax too. That sounds amazing. Yeah, looking at Reddit cute puppy videos is also the best pastime. Someone said sketch and listen to music and relax. I love it. Great. Thank you all for your answers.
And these are some examples of different apps that you could use to kind of relax. Some people already mentioned music. Someone also mentioned about taking snacks, which is such a good idea. Drink water, stay hydrated. It's so important. I think I've been drinking more water now that we've been quarantining than I did pre-COVID. So that's a really healthy habit to practice. Calm, it's like a pretty cool app. I think I know you have this on your phone, and I've seen commercials about it on TV.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I started seeing ads on my Instagram too about Calm app. It'll just start, like, I think it knows I'm stressed, I don't know.
And Headspace, is that one that... It's
kind of a similar to Calm as well.
Okay. I see some responses on the chat. Does anyone use any of these apps here, or know of any calming, relaxing activities?
Headspace, awesome. Apple Music and Spotify, great. Someone else uses Calm app as well. Morning and night, yeah. The Calm app also has Breathe app is amazing too. Just breathing helps so much more than we think. It just allows all that oxygen to get up in your brain, let you relax, let you de-stress. We have all this tension in our body that we don't even realize that we have. So even right now, if you're sitting on your chair, your couch, your bed, wherever, and if you feel yourself tense, you just like slowly relax. Your shoulders, your elbows, your knees, your toes, your neck. I already feel relaxed. It just takes 30 seconds. Great, thank you everyone. And yeah, I know we mentioned this before, so writing down important dates and deadlines for the semester. I know when you're in high school, it's a little easier, right? Your classes are back to back. You get constant reminders of when your assignments are due. It's really easy to, especially or in-person college classes too, when you're just having that constant reminder. But now you might have classes twice a week, once a week. Or you might have classes where they almost just show you can do the recordings as well. So it's a lot of being in charge of your own education and your own motivation, to be able to say, like, something is due in a month. How will I help myself remember? Sometimes I used to even leave sticky notes on my door. So I'm like, I have to run into this sticky note when I wake up, and there's no avoiding it, and this is how I'll remember. So doing things like that helps as well. Someone else said on the chat, I use the app Fit On to find videos with stretches and short yoga tutorials. I love that. Yes.
That sounds really cool. And Paloma, you kind of mentioned something similar to this. So this is an actual example of what your grid could look like for the week. And it's broken down by hour. And this could be an example of what it could look like for you. Just so you kind of have your days planned from 8 to 4. You know, you have your classes, you have your block of times for your classes, for your lunch break or your time to relax a little bit. We have a homework hour, a 30-minute break to homework. Again, this is just an example template. This could look a little different, but this is an example of how you could organize your schedule. And we'll actually be providing a PDF version that you could use to kind of write your own agenda that could kind of help you keep track of your day-to-day life.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, and just to kind of bring it home, the entire motivation and push to get up at 8 a.m. for that class, or get up and find that routine, or put those study periods, is to find your why. So why are you taking college classes? Why is this something that's important to you? Finding at the core of it, not just what you're doing or how you're doing it, but why are you intentional and coming and showing up every day, even if it's the hardest thing that you have to do that day. What is your motivation? I'm going to open it up to the chat one more time. If you're comfortable, you can message us privately as well if you don't want to message on the group. Just we want to know, what is your motivation? Why did you want to even come to this workshop today? Just what is motivating you every day? For me, a large part of what motivated me to go to, I went to Foothill and then I transferred to UC Irvine, so I was a transfer student as well. And high school was not, I didn't really know what being successful meant in high school. Didn't have a lot of wins. I didn't really know how to time manage, how to study. So I just thought that studying wasn't for me. It wasn't part of my trait as a student. But going to community college, I realized that the college setting helped me more. I loved the setting of only going to class 3 times a week instead of every single day. I got to be in control of what I study, when I study, and it motivated me to want to learn more and get that degree. And I wanted to go into education, and that was my motivation.
Thank you for sharing, Nita. I think for me, as a first-gen student, I'm the first in my family to go to college. And this could be the same for you here, right? A lot of us have the motivation to be the first in our families to get that certificate or degree, to really pursue higher education and really go forward. That could be a why, for example. I think I see some responses in the chat. Did someone share?
Yeah, someone said coming to this presentation help me with my first year of college because it's not the same as high school. Yeah, so just even knowing that, you know, taking these small steps will help you be successful in college and, you know, help you get the degree, help you get that job that you is your motivation, or it's earning, being the first in your family to get that degree. Yeah, I think these are all really important. So if you want to write it down on your piece of paper or that sticky note and put it in your room or on your kitchen door or wall or wherever you need to put like your daily reminder, what is your why when things are just really, really not looking great. And you are like, why the hell am I looking at another Zoom recording right now? Just really going back to your why and figuring out what motivates you. Someone says, I want and need education to reach my goals in psychology. So yeah, finding your major, figuring out what that major is such a big, important part of your college education as well, as knowing what that major is. Someone says, I think I know what my goals are, but they don't really motivate me through daily life. And that's something important. That's a lot of great self-awareness that I'm hearing. So who can you contact to kind of help you figure out what that motivation is, figure out what that goal is, and we'll give you some resources towards the end of this. So if you feel like I need to have more conversations with someone, I need to connect with someone because I just don't know what my motivation is, we'll definitely provide that for you too. Someone said, I've been homeschooled all my life, so me coming to this presentation helps to know what to do to transition from homeschool environment to a college environment. That's great. I'm so glad to hear that. Yeah, it's different, but you know, change is not always bad. It's just learning a different part of you that you didn't know. You're learning more about yourself as we go through this process.
Yeah, and I think that highlights kind of like the best part of being like a college student is having the opportunity to like really go towards that goal. Maybe you haven't really found your goal yet, and that's okay, but this is like your opportunity to really explore that and kind of explore and see what's your passion, what do you want to do in the future, and kind of like tie it into your education, kind of figuring out what kind of adds fuel to your fire, right? And this is the opportunity to kind of become your own person. As a college student, you're going to be more autonomous, which means like this is all on you. There's not going to be phone calls saying, hey, X person didn't show up to class today. Like, this is going to be more on you. And this is why we stress the importance of organizing, because you're going to be more of an independent student here. And that's the tricky thing about college, because you could easily fall into like, oh, like it's fine, I'll get to it. And then things will just catch up to you and you're going to be like, how do I have a midterm tomorrow? Like, I didn't see it coming. So it's highly important to identify the strategies that work best for you and to go back to your why, your intrinsic motivation, your goal as a student at Cañada College. Some helpful tips.
So these are just some quick helpful tips we gave to our promise students that we wanted to share with all of you as well. And again, it just takes one small change. So we're not expecting everyone to do all of these things. But if you want to change one thing just to see if it changes your outlook on your day, it'll be helpful. So unplug from your phone and take breaks. It's helpful just to not see how many new cases there are, not see what's going on with everything that is really can add to stress and anxiety. Someone asked what the Promise team is. So we're a program on campus, and we're going to be providing more information when we put up the Zoom slides and recordings. And
sorry to interrupt. We'll also be presenting in town hall. If you would like to learn more about us, I'll be there to kind of share a quick spiel of like what we do and our contact information.
Yeah. Yes, thank you so much. Yeah, take a shower in the morning. I know I don't take a shower in the morning because I have to get to my first meeting and I just roll out of bed. But sometimes just it helps you get your day started, making a to-do list, helping you be on track, attending your classes somewhere that isn't your bed. I know sometimes that isn't possible for some of our students on this call, where your bed might be the one place that you have to yourself, but even if it means taking a walk, being able to sit somewhere else in your house that can give you a separation of school time versus not school time. Eating a healthy breakfast, whatever you put in your body is as important. Helping you feel energized and happy and healthy, even if that means a bag of Cheetos, we do it, but we want to make sure that we're also being as nutritious as possible so that we're giving our body and our brain fuel. And stay connected. So we encourage our students to always connect over Zoom, connect over FaceTime, make study sessions. So as soon as you go on your first couple days of class, ask for someone's number. Everyone's new. It's not weird. You even have someone's emails if you don't feel comfortable asking for their phone number. But staying connected online is going to be different. It's going to be something that maybe we're not as used to. It'll take a little bit more effort to reach out to our classmate when we can't see them in person. So figuring out what works best for you is always important. And yes,
so no laptop, no problem. And this goes for students who probably don't have a laptop at home, who need that technology resource. That will be, you'll have the opportunity to request one if you need one through the library, whether it's a laptop, a hotspot if you need the hotspot, graphing calculators. Hita, do you mind dropping the website?
So in the chat, I put the link for the form that you need to fill out if you'd like to request any of these items. And also, if you have any more questions about this, you can email the librarians who have been really great in providing students these resources. So I put that in the chat for everyone.
Yeah, and the reason why we bring this up is we may have the motivation to really get going, but maybe we don't have the resource to even make that happen, right? So definitely use your resources and reach out if you need the support, because we want all of our students to start off confident with all the tools that they need. And if it's a laptop or a hotspot, we'll definitely want you to reach out so we could get you set up with that. And also,
someone in the chat mentioned to our previous slide that they have trouble waking up and starting work at 8 a.m. So to find that motivation, she puts on her work clothes, makeup, helps put in the work mindset, which I think is so important. It's just creating that routine so that you get yourself in that school or work mindset.
Yeah, that's important. And yeah, that's something I need to practice more often. And these are some helpful apps. Of course, I'm kind of going off the bottom because those are the ones that I know off the bat. Zoom, we're on Zoom right now. We're gonna start getting more familiar with this. So that's a big tool, and it's a tool you could use too to connect with your friends or have like a study session. Your Google Drive's also a great resource where you could use whether it's like an Excel or like a PowerPoint type of software or like a Microsoft type of software, but like the Google version, everything lives there. So it's super handy because you won't have those moments where like your computer crashes and then you don't have access to your documents. It's all saved in your cloud. And the Remind app is pretty awesome. We use this for our program to send text reminders to our students for important dates or workshops that we have presenting. Hita, do you want to speak about the 3 out top?
We have photo math, which is really cool. I learned about it. Use your camera. You can scan a math problem and it'll help you give step-by-step explanations. Quizlet has so many different flashcards. So if you are taking a class where you need to memorize a lot of words, and I'm sure some of you have already heard about these apps, so definitely it's for free on the App Store, Google Play if you have an Android or an iPhone. So Quizlet is great for quizzing yourself on different flashcards, and you can make your own flashcards. And I'm sure everyone knows about Khan Academy, where you have access to lots of different videos of different topics. So again, it's that if you're on that journey of self-learning right now, because we're an online setting, these are some really helpful apps for you. And I know we only have a couple more minutes, but we would love to, as we're finishing up these next couple slides, if you have any other apps that we missed, let us know.
And then these are our last discussion questions. We might just have time to answer maybe one. So let's do this. Pick one question that you would like to answer, and we'll see your responses in the chat, or if you'd like, you could unmute yourself and share any of your responses.
Give it 30 seconds. So anything you want to shout out of either what you've learned, what's new strategy you want to try to use in the fall, and if there's anything you'd like to add. One student said they use the Anki app, A-N-K-I app, which is a flashcards app. Thank you.
Yeah, flashcards are like lifesavers.
I'm glad to get a refresher of how to get my time managed, especially since it's been a while since fall semester. So, and also like with this whole pandemic thing, it's just getting the used to of being in Zoom again, and like starting having a fresh semester, other than last fall semester being chaotic. So it's pretty good.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, just getting that boost of refresher of switching that mindset and figuring out what's that motivation. I feel like I have two kinds of resolutions. It's like my New Year's and then my start of the academic year. And I think, yeah, definitely getting used to the new system and the new routine is totally important. Awesome. And we'll go over to the next slide as we wrap up. And someone said, I'm going to the jams to get a head start on my classes, and so I can ask my professors how I can start time managing for their classes. Yeah, asking your professors is a huge resource. I'll be having a planner to write what I'm going to do and having some apps to help me. Ooh, that's great. And if anyone needs help reaching out to professors, need to know what's the best way to do it, definitely reach out to any of us and we can give you some helpful pointers. And those were some of the resources. And again, if everyone is attending the town hall, that is a great place for you to learn about the different services that we provide. Online tutoring is a huge one that I think will be really helpful. The STEM Center, library, and again, this presentation will be up again, so if you need any of those resources, you can definitely take a look. And as a last thing, and I'll probably email this out too, I wanted to send everyone the study schedule document, and it's fillable. So if you wanted to go ahead and make copies, you can go ahead and download it over Zoom. Sorry, I'm trying to find it. So on the chat, it's a PDF, and we'll add it to Canvas. So it's a study schedule that's essentially shows the classes that you're taking. Like Loma said, it'll show the time that you wake up to the time that you go to sleep every day of the week, and you can start to write in what times you want to block off or what activities to help you with those priorities and that time management in the fall.
that wraps it up. I don't want to take more of your time, but everyone, thank you so much for joining. I hope this was informative or a refresher to kind of get your mindset again, to have, you know, your mindset ready to begin your courses confidently. And yes, we'll be providing that schedule for you. And yeah, thanks for joining. And